Number 1. You're doing the 1-2-3 combo. Doing that left mouse button, left mouse button, left mouse button all the time is why you're getting parried so much. Between every weapon's second and third left mouse button is a window anyone can parry in. You should try doing LMB1, LMB2, then dodging to start up another combo. Another viable option is to still do the third LMB, but hold it to bait out the parry and then release. Give it a try in your next fight. Number 2. Dodging backwards while being grappled. When you're stunned by a grapple, your instinct is to create distance to escape the person grappling you by dodging away from them. But dodging away from the direction you were grappled from makes it easier for them to land the follow-up strike. Instead, you should dodge towards them. Makes it harder for them to hit you with the follow-up strikes, and you create more distance. Number 3. Your inventory management sucks. A balanced inventory makes it so you always have resources. If you're carrying too many of one item, you might not have the other resources you need. Try to balance your inventory so it's like this: 6 health pots, 6 armor pots, 18 grapples, 4 repair kits, and an empty slot for bonus items like a bains breath. Make small changes based on your playstyle, but remember to keep your inventory in balance. Number 4. Speaking of your inventory, you aren't buying weapon bags. Weapon bag upgrades might not seem important, but the extra space serves a lot of purposes. You should always have a space for a backup melee weapon, just in case you get parried. You should always keep a weapon slot open, so when you parry an enemy, you can easily pick up their weapon. Carry a second ranged weapon, as it's much faster to swap weapons than taking the time to repair one that has no ammo left. Number 5. You're swapping your weapons all wrong. So now you're carrying a backup melee and a ranged weapon, but every time you swap, you're hitting tab and dragging that weapon down to your hotbar. Stop doing this. Try holding down 1 or 2 key and using the mouse scroll wheel to scroll through your inventory. You can swap weapons without ever having to stop moving or opening your inventory. Just hold the button of the weapon slot you want to swap, scroll the mouse wheel to the weapon you want, and bam, you're swapping weapons. Number 6. You aren't doing quests. The golden quests scattered across the map are a great way to earn Darktide coins without having to fight. These Darktide coins can be spent at any rift dealer on a number of things to increase your inventory space, buy resources you're missing, or even rolling for random soul jades. Number 7. You aren't buying bains breaths. Speaking of Darktide coins and rift dealers, you aren't using them to buy and use bains breath. Bains breaths are these talismans found inside the rift dealer. There are 3 tiers: blue, purple, and gold. The only difference between them is how long they last before they disappear from the game. Each tier can only be purchased once per game, so if you purchase the purple tier, then no one else can buy it. Once purchased, you can press Z to open up the map and drop a bains breath anywhere you want. If you're the one who used the charm, you're immune to the lightning and its damage. These are great for covering when you're trying to get to a golden Morris, or protecting your escape when you manage to create some distance from an opponent, or even dropping on a dead teammate so you can easily revive them. Number 8. You parry way too much. Parrying someone is a great way to turn the tides of a fight you're losing, but parries are extremely high risk, high reward. Missing a parry leaves you extremely vulnerable, and spamming parries in a fight hoping to land one is an easy way to guarantee that you lose that fight. You should only use parries if you're absolutely certain you can land it. Consider learning the different weapon patterns instead, and dodging, as it's a much safer defensive option that doesn't leave you vulnerable. Number 9. You're doing the salty run back. As you get better at the game, you're going to find yourself dying to teams early on. It's okay in duos or trios because you have 1 free resurrection on the table, but you'll be tempted to run it back. You'll reason it like, oh, they're still low, or their ultimates are on cooldown. But by the time you have resurrected, they'll have fully reset and they have access to the best gear from their team and your team. At best, you're going to have white armor and a single white weapon. It's better just to find a resurrection altar someplace else where you can lead up and find a foothold back into the game. Resist the urge to run it back and you'll win more games. Number 10. You're spending your silver Tay wrong. Coming to the game, you're probably looking to spend your Tay on skins and new heroes. But before you spend Tay on any of that, you should spend it to upgrade your talents. Talents offer you a way to create your own playstyle and drastically improve things like your stamina meter, your grapple distance, or how fast you can build your ultimate meter. Upgrading your talents and finding your own playstyle is a major step into becoming a better player in Naraka Bladepoint. Experiment, find what you like, or just look up some talent guides. Number 11. You aren't fighting together. For new players, it might seem efficient to split up your enemies and fight them one-on-one, but this is the worst way to engage in fights in a group setting for Naraka. If something happens that catches you or one of your teammates off guard, no one can help peel for that person and they die. This leaves your team fighting at a disadvantage and gives one person on the enemy team time to fully reset. Instead, you should try to focus down a single target all at once to give your team the numbers advantage. Number 12. You aren't using scale rushes nearly enough. I'd be willing to bet that most of you don't even know what a scale rush is. By grabbing onto a wall, you can LMB or charge LMB to dash in a direction while attacking. Not only is this one of the best movement options in the game, helping you escape tough situations or transverse the map easier, it also does massive damage when hitting somebody. You should practice this skill and learn how to do it as second nature. Utilizing scale rushes will help you win more games. Number 13. You aren't using the map. As a new player, you likely aren't using your map to plan out your movements. Come into the pre-lobby, pull up your map, choose the loot path you're going to take. Know where the golden piles spawn and stick to that loot path. Also, make sure you're checking the map for POIs like the golden Morris chests. These chests can have resources your team desperately needs, but are also going to be hotspots where players gather to try and get those same resources. Decide as a team if you're looking to fight for those resources or maybe catch a team off guard. Utilize pings on the map by left-clicking where you want to go so your team moves as a team. Doing this will help you increase the odds of winning games and help you get your hands on better loot. Number 14. You're ignoring your soul jades. These are soul jades. You're likely either just picking up whatever you find and not even looking at them, or you're overusing special jades. You want to find a good balance between special jades and stat jades. This is a ranged resist soul jade. This is garbage. Don't use this. For stat jades, look to use the attack damage or melee defense jades. For special jades, either pick a set of special jades for your melee weapon or for your ranged weapon. You never want to use more than 3 special jades, and you always want them to be for the same weapon. Splitting them up between melee and ranged just isn't as good. You're not always going to find the jades you want or need, but more stat jades never hurt. Even just 3 attack jades or 3 melee defense jades is good and it's going to give you a better chance of winning your game. Number 15. You aren't evolving as a player. You're stuck in your ways and you're doing the same things over and over again. You need to work on improving by getting out of your comfort zone. Play weapons you're bad at to improve with them and better learn how to play against them. Drop into hot zones and take early fights to help you improve fighting with limited resources. Play more bloodbaths. You die as much as you like and you're always fighting. Just make sure you look for the top players in the lobby and try to always fight them. Killing bots isn't going to make you much better. And if you can get people together to do custom bloodbath lobbies and fight each other over and over again, it'll help you all become better players at Naraka Bladepoint.